to the Buzz Pound.
Smith scores, and the Carolina Panthers win in overtime.
A Queen City sports podcast covering your Charlotte Hornets and Carolina Panthers.
Halliburton, nowhere to go! LaMelo's done it! LaMelo's done it! Hornets win! Here comes LaMelo.
Here are your hosts, Ian Blair and Cam Gardner.
A win is a win. Ian, would you agree?
I would agree.
Panthers officially moved to 2-7 after a late 23-22 win against the Saints. I'm going to tell you this much, Ian. I'm not going to let anything take the joy from me of that win.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I completely agree. Obviously, it's been a eventful week as a Panthers fan. We traded away Deontay Johnson for a pick swap and didn't really expect to do much this week against the Saints. And we were able to pull out the win, especially late in the game. Bryce Young driving us down the field and Chuba Hubbard putting us in the end zone, and we were able to get the win. It's nice to see. I'd always rather win than lose. So definitely, obviously, still at 2-7 and don't have high expectations for the remainder of the season, but at least we matched our win total from last year, so that was nice.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. We have currently matched the amount of wins we had last year. Think we'll be able to pull off another, or do you think this is it?
I think it'll be interesting to see. Let me see the remainder of the schedule. I mean, I think we could probably beat the Giants next weekend in Munich, Germany. That's definitely a winnable game. And then looking at the schedule right off the top of my head, besides that, I don't think we might not win another game for the rest of the year. Obviously got the Eagles, the Chiefs the week after, or we have a bye week after the Giants game and then play the Chiefs at home. Obviously the Chiefs are undefeated, so I don't think that's going to be a win. The only remaining game on the schedule that we could potentially win is maybe against Dallas, but there's no telling. I mean, it'd be nice to win one more game this year, but there's no telling.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that's just our season's over regardless. So, I mean, whatever potential other wins we have, it won't do much toward our season. But, it'll be for Panther fans, it makes you happy to see a win regardless, especially when they're wearing the black jerseys and silver pants.
Yeah.
It seems like those to me bring us some type of luck. That's just our iconic uniforms and what I will forever see the Panthers as whenever they wear those. So maybe they'll pull those out again this season at some point.
Yeah, hopefully we will. I don't know why we don't wear them more often, but we wear white so much. I'd prefer, the black jerseys and the gray pants, or the blue jerseys and the gray pants, or some combination, especially when we're playing at home. But
yeah, I would agree. Well, I guess we'll dive into that unfortunate loss we had against Denver last week. Just heads up for those listening, this episode is kind of a revised episode. We're recording this one a little late in the week, so it won't be quite the same concept, but we're definitely going to get it all done. So in last week's game, Ian, it was a unfortunate loss. We were 1-7 at the time. It was a 28-14 loss to the Denver Broncos. Some of those stats, Bryce Young, 24 completed passes, 37 attempts, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Those 2 touchdowns were Jalen Coker and Xavier Leggett with another good old dollar ride like we saw today.
Yeah,
that'll never get old. Defense honestly made Bo Nix look like a really good quarterback. He had 28 completed passes out of 37 attempts, 284 yards and 3 touchdowns. And that was, I believe, our first game without Johnson. Or no, I think he didn't play that game.
Yeah, he was hurt. He was hurt.
Okay, yeah. Well, we were without him, and then he got traded not like a day or so after that. So we were already without him by that point. Like you said, we just got like a 5th-round pick for him. And not a good trade on our end, but we expected it. He goes from a crappy Panthers team to a contending team. So good for him. We hope the best for him. We thank him for everything he contributed to us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously trade him to the Ravens, getting a 5th round, sending Deontay Johnson, a 6th rounder for a 5th rounder this next year. And obviously the Ravens are extremely, extremely good. So I don't think looking at, obviously I don't think we'll be trading up because they'll end up having a late fifth round pick, and we'll probably have an early sixth round pick. So we're probably not moving up too many spots. But, wish them nothing but the best. And, hopefully we don't trade away our entire team and all our valuable pieces at the deadline, but there's no telling what this team will do. So yeah, it was the Broncos game, wasn't a good showing. Obviously, Bo Nix played really well. And we just didn't. It was just another Sunday for the Panthers. It was nice to get the win this week against the Saints, but this past Sunday against the Broncos wasn't a good game by any means.
Nah, well, at least we got the win today to kind of look
Yeah.
past that in a way. So it gives us a little happier spirits. And coming fresh off that game, I think we're a little more positive tone than we typically are, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, it's always nice to get the win. A win's a win, no matter what the score is, and no matter how you do it. It's obviously nice to be in the win column, and a lot of potential 2-7 teams in the league right now. Now that I look around, obviously the Titans and the Patriots are both low record teams, and there's a lot of teams around the league that don't have really good records. That kind of surprising if you look around. But yeah, hopefully we can pull the next week off against the Giants and travel down to Munich, Germany, and play at 8:30 in the morning Central Time, obviously 9:30 Eastern. But I'll be up for that game watching it, and hopeful that we can pull off back-to-back wins.
Yeah, I mean, as a Panthers fan, we can only dream, huh?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, honestly. Well, let's we're going to get ready to move into some basketball news. So, Ian, you were actually at that Atlanta game on Friday, October 25th. You want to recap a little bit there?
Yeah, so obviously back and forth game. LaMelo ended up fouling out late in the game, but it was kind of a back and forth game between him and Trae Young. Obviously, LaMelo's played really well this year. We've dropped some games, obviously, since we've last talked on the pod, but obviously played Boston back to back, which was, we'd be extremely lucky to get a win against them. But, the Atlanta game's obviously one you want to win. We followed that up with a close loss to the Heat, and then obviously a win versus the Raptors. But, the team is now sitting at 2-4, and hopefully we could pull off some wins here in the near future. Obviously, still really early on in the year, and when you play the when you play the Celtics with Jason Tatum and the team they have, obviously well coached. Obviously, that's where our coach came from. So, but yeah, it was Atlanta back and forth, and hope to get the win. It was still a fun time regardless, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely fun seeing Trae Young and LaMelo Ball have a battle game. Trae Young 38 points, LaMelo Ball 34 points. I mean, it's good seeing two young stars who will soon be faces of the league once, the LeBron James, the Steph Currys, the James Hardens, the Russell Westbrooks, all those guys retire. People like LaMelo, Trae Young, Ja Morant, all those young guys will be the new faces of the league. So it's just good seeing those guys play against each other, have good battles. Unfortunately, we were not able to win that game because, those are a little personal as we have the NBA Battle Series, the barbecue series that you at the time didn't know about with the Hawks versus the Hornets, Battle of the South. So they got to take the pig trophy, and let's hope next time we'll be able to take it back to its rightful owner and home. So,
Yeah.
but on the subject of LaMelo Ball, though, man, has he been having a good season so far? I mean, we are talking 30-plus point games, just about every one except one. But it's good seeing him back in good health. We just hope that he can stay in that good health. He's such a talent. A lot of people are really starting to wake up and see what LaMelo Ball is. A lot of people don't pay the Hornets much attention, just for obvious reasons, but it's just so refreshing having him on that court. And thankfully, Brandon Miller made his return in that second Celtics game. He had a nasty poster on Tatum, actually, which was good to see.
Yeah.
He didn't really have the most standout game, but it's good to see he really didn't, lose it much coming back. Doesn't look like he's hurting too much, so let's hope he stays in good health and we can finally see our young duo really do some stuff on the court, because I really feel like they could be lethal as long as they're on the court together.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, I mean, it's important that they all stay. Hopefully we can maintain some health throughout the year. Obviously get Mark Williams back as soon as possible and get these young guys to play some minutes together on the court. And obviously LaMelo in the last game, this past game versus the Celtics, had another 36-point game, fouled out once again, I believe. But yeah, it was nice to see Brandon Miller back. Obviously didn't shoot the ball very well this past game, but you can kind of expect that, especially having coming back from a couple games with not playing and getting back in the swing of things. But hopefully we can pull together a stretch where we win some games and stay consistent and can make a run at this thing in the later in the year. But yeah,
Let's take a second though, and sorry for cutting you off, but let's take a second to highlight your guy, our six-man Trey man.
oh
That
yeah,
guy is
yeah.
coming off the bench doing some work. I love it completely. I'm hoping that they can figure out something this offseason to extend him because that is such a valuable asset to our team.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. He's looking like an early six man of the year candidate. Hopefully, he's doing way better than I thought. I expected big things from him coming into the year, but he's really putting it together and definitely giving us some points off the bench, something that we've been lacking the past couple years, and that consistent scoring off the bench. And it's nice to see. Hopefully we can maintain it and, he can be consistent because, 30 games from now later in the year, hopefully he can still be scoring at the clip he is right now. But early on in the year, obviously, Eric Collins, I think, had a quote that he was modern day Allen Iverson or something. So obviously high praise early on in the year, and hopefully he can really develop. Obviously, still a really young player. He's either 22 or 23, and the sky's the limit for him up to this point.
Hey, not only is he looking the part of AI, but his game definitely favors a bit. I mean, there's only one AI, but he's definitely showing that he's something special.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that has him, so glad we got him. We definitely won that trade with Oklahoma. Uh, I'm hoping he can keep it up. Hopefully, he can stay healthy because when him and LaMelo are on the court together, they are a pretty dangerous backcourt to have, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for sure. And then coupled with, Brandon Miller as well. Hopefully he can stay healthy throughout the year. Early scaries, a little scary injury, obviously with his glute or whatever the injury was. And hopefully he can stay healthy throughout the year and we can have the whole team together. Obviously, as you mentioned, I don't think Micic played the past couple games, which you probably appreciated seeing because he wasn't playing very well. But I thought that was interesting, obviously, that we made that adjustment and took him kind of out of the lineup, especially with how poorly he was playing.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I was very happy to see him not on the court as much. I don't think he played past few games. I mean, he wasn't thrown in a good situation. Obviously, playing that many minutes for that amount of time was not what he was accustomed to with us. And just due to Miller being out, I think that's why he got kind of thrown out like that. Hopefully, moving forward, we can at least see some Nick Smith Jr. we drafted last year. Definitely a young talent. I want to see what all he can do. He's got a year under his belt. Think he could be a solid bench player for us. They just need to give him some more time. And also, Salon even got his first official points, which was good to
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. He's getting
He's
some playing time early in the year. It's nice to see. Obviously, I think he had, as you mentioned, he had his first points, and then the following game, or he had his first three-pointer, which was I think it was right before the half. It was a big shot. I believe it was against was it the first game against the Celtics? It was recent, but anyway, it cut the lead down to whatever it was at the time. It was a big shot right before the half, so it's nice to see that.
Yeah, I think he's definitely getting his feet wet. Hopefully, he can advance and develop moving forward. They're definitely using him right, I believe. Using him better than I thought. Because remember, at first they were talking about he was going to sit on the bench, but I think he exceeded their expectations a bit after they said that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's nice for
well,
him to get a couple minutes, a couple minutes, whether it's like 6 or 7 minutes each game, just to, as you mentioned, get his feet wet and, learn a little bit. Obviously, he's not going to be playing 20 plus minutes a game early on in his career, but it's nice he's getting, 5, 6, 7 minutes a game and kind of able to develop a little bit.
yeah, definitely. Well, we just hope to see our young squad continue to develop. And I will say this, I'm hoping that Miles Bridges can pick it up a little bit. He hasn't been standing out like he, previously has in the past season or so. I know he just came back last year from his situation, but I'm hoping he'll at least pick up a little bit. 'Cause we know what he can do when he's on
Yeah.
fire. So
Yes.
hopefully that'll pick up. I'm not too worried, but I know you got some people out there who's saying his contract extension is not looking so good right now. So let's hope he can live up to that extension.
Yeah, and if everybody's firing at all on all cylinders, obviously this could be a dangerous team. So it'd be nice for him to pick it up. Obviously, our next game is tomorrow night against the Timberwolves, which is a very, very winnable game in my opinion. What are some of your expectations for the game, and what are you looking for?
Well, Ant-Man is definitely gonna stand out as he always does.
Yeah.
Him and LaMelo were in the same draft class together.
Yep.
At the time, we weren't sure who we were going to get. We thought he was a possibility, but obviously we went with the right guy for us. It'll be fun seeing those two play. Again, that's another young player who will be one of the faces of the league. We'll be seeing a lot more of him, just doing what he does. But I think it's winnable as long as everybody, it's good. We got Miller back. I think that defense is going to be key because that's something we've been struggling with the past few games, in my opinion. I mean, the Celtics are the Celtics. They're defending champs, so that's just one of those games, kind of like the upcoming in a few weeks from now, Panthers versus Kansas City. It's just one of those games where you're playing against defending champs, and it's not going to be easy, obviously, because they still got that momentum going. But it's winnable. But we're just going to have to play some serious defense because those are some dogs over there. We know what Ant-Man can do. As long as Miller stays healthy, doesn't have any setbacks during that game. Same with LaMelo. Bridges, he'll have to step it up a bit. I just feel like defense is going to be key because obviously offensively, I think we got a pretty strong suit there, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree. I mean, Anthony Edwards is obviously going to have a good game. Kind of expect a good game from him every game. But as long as we can, mitigate his offensive performance and obviously, score a bunch of points, I think we'll be good or put ourselves in a spot where we could win that game. Obviously, we don't want to lose three in a row or however many we've lost. So it's definitely important that we're at least very competitive and look good during that game. So
Yeah, we don't want the season to get too far away from us too early because we're expecting, something. We're not quite sure what, but we're expecting something from this young core of guys. So
yeah.
But while we're on the subject of basketball, we would like to introduce a new segment that we will be bringing in to the Buzz Pound. Still covering the Panthers and the Hornets. That's what the Buzz Pound is. But we want to introduce the Buzz Pound Carolina College Hoop segment. So pretty much what that will be is just covering the scores of UNC, Duke, and NC State. We feel that it's fair that we do that in honor of those teams in the state as well. We know those are well-known basketball programs for the most part. So I want to give a special thanks to my uncle, Alfonso McClary, for spinning that idea. Me and Ian talked about it and felt it would be a good addition to bring to the pod. So Ian, ready to get this segment going, man?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Well, tomorrow, college basketball is officially back. It's been a while. It was last season was pretty fun to watch for the most part. Seeing a lot of different teams like Alabama really stood out last year. Crimson Tide, they were very talented and expecting something from them. I think they were ranked number 2. You got Kansas and UConn. They were the winners of it all. So we're looking at some of them, being talented again, coming back. But so we're going to start with UNC, who is ranked number 9 currently. UNC will play versus Elon tomorrow, Monday, November 1st. Then Friday, they got Kansas, who's ranked number 1. So that'll be a interesting game. Duke, them Dukies, I'm a UNC guy, but they're ranked number 7. Duke will play Maine tomorrow, November 1st. And on Friday, November 8th, they will play Army West Point and the Wolfpack, NC State. They will be playing University of South Carolina Upstate tomorrow, November 1st. And on Friday, November 8th, they will be playing Presbyterian. So it's looking like a few North and South Carolina type games, competition there. So hopefully it'll be a good set of games tomorrow and moving forward for the rest of the college season. Ian, what you think, man?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously a good lineup. You said North Carolina plays Kansas on Friday, I believe.
Yes, Friday.
Yeah, so that'll be obviously a battle between two blue bloods in college hoops. So obviously it'd be a big game on Friday night. You said Kansas was ranked first, so that'll be a big game for the Tar Heels. Obviously, is it in Carolina or is it in Kansas?
It's looking like it'll be at Kansas.
Okay. Well, so if it's at Kansas, obviously that's going to be a loud, rowdy environment. I'm sure it would be a loud, rowdy environment no matter where it was at, but it's going to be a huge matchup on Friday night. As we're in this segment, I want to give a shout out to the UAB Blazers taking on Vermont on Monday. GB. Anyway, yeah, obviously a big week ahead for college hoops. I'm excited to get it going this year, and obviously overlapping with football season, it'll be exciting. A lot of sports, especially me and you loving sports. It'll be I'm excited for these next couple weeks and almost more than a month of both basketball and football kind of overlapping. It'll be games every night we're able to watch, and it'll be very, very exciting.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a good one. Just looking forward to some more sports. Football is getting to that midpoint of the season where they'll be going into their playoffs within the next handful of months. Then that'll be over. Then we'll have predominantly basketball to just look at for a while. So until baseball comes back around.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Gonna be good. Good to be able to watch some games every night, come home from work and be able to watch some sports. My favorite time of the year, whether it's football, basketball, baseball just wrapped up, obviously, with the Dodgers winning the World Series, but it'll be a fun next couple months of sports every night. But anyway, Buzz Pound, as always, we appreciate y'all joining us for another episode. Sorry for the delay this week, obviously. Busy schedules between the both of us and some errors between the two of us with recording earlier on in the week. But as always, we appreciate y'all joining us. You can follow us on our social medias at BuzzPoundPod on both Instagram and X, and you can listen to our podcast on both YouTube and Spotify at BuzzPound Podcast.
And until next time, we're the Buzz Pound. Keep pounding and keep the high mentality.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Buzz Pound. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and let us know what you thought of this episode. Until next time, this is the Buzz Pound.
Touchdown.